wish I could hug you through the phone.
I do too. Oh my gosh. I know we talk every day, all day, but it's different when I actually see you.
We do talk every day, all day. Oh my gosh, I love your hair so much.
Thank you. I went through a bit of an identity crisis because, yeah, it's a bit darker than normal, but yeah, we'll see what happens next appointment if I keep it on.
I think last time I seen you, the dark was all underneath and it was blonde on top. It looks like it's woven through now.
Yeah, it kind of has. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I need to figure out how to get my hat, my brim, to be as firm as yours. Mine always wants to flop forward.
So the best way to do it is an iron. So if you've got an iron, you can iron it out, put some water on it, and then you have it sitting on the ground and it flat, like, so it's like, you know, drying the brim flat. So
I probably need to add water. Someone just came on here a little bit ago and said, weren't you blonde before? I was like, are you guys still mixing us up?
you know what? I've had people ask me, didn't you have black hair or dark hair? And I'm just like, no, that would be my sister Harmony. We are two halves of one soul, so it does not surprise me that people confuse us for each other.
Yeah. It is funny when they think that though, because you are blonde and blue-eyed and I have brown eyes and brown hair.
I just think it's the energy that they feel, not necessarily the looks, but more so the energy. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, probably.
But how is everyone on the live? I did my first live yesterday for the first time. I think the last time I did a live was like before Salem in August, or like when I was in Salem. That's how long ago, or in Boston, I was like showing everyone the squirrels, and I feel like that was the last live I've done.
So September, October, November, December, January, February, 7 months? Has it seriously been that long, Stella?
I think maybe I've done one live after Salem because I remember talking about it and that was it. So it has at least been 6 months for sure.
Wow. Hi, Rowan. Hi, Erin.
Oh my gosh, Holly and I have really been feeling the feels with this full moon coming up. And just like my headache last night was so bad. It was, you know, I don't know if there's Schumann resonance. We haven't checked that yet, but something's going on. So we've both been feeling very sort of just emotional at the moment. How's everyone else been feeling with this full moon? I remember seeing that live with the squirrels eyes.
I was looking at those videos today of us out there with the squirrels.
Oh my gosh. I hope we get to see the squirrels together again this time. Are you crying tonight? Yeah, Harmony and I were like crying just before this live. We're like, I was driving to the cottage and I'm just like, I just missed you so much. Why can't we be on the same side of the world?
Oh, don't say that. You'll make me cry right now.
I know. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are feeling really emotional.
I wonder why Marjorie can't pin anything.
Maybe because it's a joint live, maybe.
Might be.
No. Yeah.
So what are we going to chat about today?
Oh my gosh, anything and everything. We are, I think, how many weeks away are we from coming back to Salem? Is it just over a month now?
1 month and 11 days. I did the countdown. Yeah, 1 month and 11 days. 111.
Yeah, we had no idea if we're going to go back to Salem. You know, the last time we went to Salem, we experienced such big polarities in the energy there. And we were just like, maybe we're not going to be going back to Salem, but we have such a bigger mission and a bigger goal that we are wanting to achieve. And it's all around healing, because what we found is that, yes, the archetype of the witch is celebrated, especially when October is around and leading up to that. But because Salem is a town, so it's a normal functioning town outside of what we see on social media. but there is such a polarity in the sense of that residual energy of the witch wound still residing, because it is a Christian town and has been for a long time. So we really experienced that. But we're going back there this time because we have a lot of healing work to do with that residual energy that still resides in Salem. So it's, yeah, really exciting. Do you like the movie Practical Magic? Oh, we grew up with that. We grew up watching Practical Magic.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was probably one of the first ones out to see it when it came out. When was that? In the late 90s?
Yeah. And I really wish.
September it comes out. I need to go to Australia. We still haven't planned that.
I really, really wish that we could watch it together. I really wish we could.
Me too. And do midnight margaritas at the movies? You call it the theater. In the US, we call it the movies.
Oh, no, we call it the movies or cinema or the theater.
Or the cinema. That's what you call it, not theater.
Go to the cinemas. Yeah, I can't wait for Practical Magic too as well.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be incredible.
I know.
I haven't seen anything about, I have seen little, I've been a little worried about Sandra Bullock. Like, is she involved in Hollywood and all the elite drama? Like, I've seen little, like, blips of things here and there, and I'm like, no, please don't be one of them, Sandra Bullock. But I haven't seen anything about Nicole Kidman being a part of that, so I'm very glad about that.
Well, you know what's interesting about Nicole Kidman is her dad was here in Australia.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, you can tell her accent.
Yeah, so her dad, Nicole Kidman is Australian, but her dad was embroiled in the trafficking and abuse. It was a huge, big scandal here in Australia, and her dad was directly involved with it.
Really? So what did she have? I didn't read anything about that. Like when she was a child?
Yeah, when she was a child. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if her dad was from the USA, but I know when he was based here in Australia, he was embroiled in all the things. So, which was, a huge scandal here in Australia. And there's like documentaries about it and things like that. So yeah, you could probably Google it and it will come up.
Wow, how have I not seen that?
I don't know. They've kept it very, very quiet.
Have you seen the stuff about Sandra Bullock though? I just wish they had, I mean, those two, no one could do those parts any better than they could.
No, and I mean, things are so easily misconstrued with what people say. I mean, the thing that I did see that we were talking about, like, what? About the skin being injected into her face to keep her youthful. And if you know what kind of skin that was.
Yeah, that would lead you to believe exactly, which is concerning.
Oh, Scientology. Yeah, that would make sense because she was with
Tom Cruise. Nicole Kidman was,
Yeah.
And he was in Scientology.
And that's what Harmony and I spend a lot of our time talking about is that, I was talking about it on live yesterday, how it is crazy how it's collective knowledge now, but these are things that we have been speaking about for 10 or more years. So.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have. I think it's mainstream knowledge rather than conspiracy theory, which is actually a good thing. That's the only good thing I can think about what's going on right now in the US is because of who's in leadership, everything's exposed because he's such an idiot that it's just like, it's all out there and it needed to be out there. So you can reframe these things to see it from the higher perspective and at the same time be like, what the fuck?
And Harmony and I, because we speak about it, a lot of these things privately, because we have to be mindful that I am coming from Australia to the States. So we have to be mindful of what we post. So, but we do talk about these things a lot. but it just has to be in private at the moment because of me coming through the airports into the States. So, okay. So if anyone has any questions, please ask us. We're here to give our knowledge and just share and connect. And, Harmony and I were like, do we do a live? We're both feeling really, really emotional. But it seems like collectively we're all feeling that way.
But I actually feel better since I got on the live, and that's what I told you. I think I need to just do it. I need to get dressed and show up, and then I'll feel better, and I do already.
I do too. So do I. My headache's dispersing. I had such a bad headache. Someone just asked a question. Hang on. When so many left-hand path celebrities are being outed, how do you defend being Wiccan to people? Do you mean because they're being accused of being a part of the occult? Because they're not actually a part of the cult. They're not Satanists. They're not witches. I mean, it depends. There are celebrities who are witches, but they're not a part of all of what's being outed right now. And I think that's the misinformation that's being spread, is that all of these elites are a part of the occult Satanism. And it's not. They're actually of the church.
Yeah, anything of the church. That's why Stella and I are both so adamant that Satan and the devil and anything connected to Christian mythology is not witchcraft. And everything that is connected to what's going on with the elites is actually rooted in Christianity. And you can see it like hidden and woven in, because people in the Christian religion, they don't even realize that their mythology is Satan and the devil. That's no one else's mythology but theirs. That is not pagan mythology. So if they are working with the devil or calling on Satan, that is Christian. That is not pagan. And witches.
And don't get me wrong, there are witches in this more new age sort of realm that do honor and call in the energy and the archetype of Satan. So we're not saying that witches don't, use and honor that archetype, but it's not ancient paganism.
It's not the old ways. And I really wish they'd rethink what they are doing, honestly, because I don't think we need to be calling in Christian deities.
Agreed.
But I will say, like, human sacrifice goes well beyond before Christianity.
That's true.
Like way, way old. So I just think it's been in humanity for so long. It's time we stop it. No matter where it came from, it's like it needs to be stopped. And I think we all thought it was, or some of us thought it was, or we thought it was conspiracy theory that it, was still happening, but now it's out there. Like it really is happening. But witches are not doing it.
I was going to say, the mods are quick today. Someone just said, do you guys do human sacrifice?
We don't even, not even animal sacrifice. I don't even eat animals, you guys, so.
And we did cover that a lot in our Baneful Magic course that we have offered, that, in this new age time, we can offer a different form of sacrifice. Obviously our ancestors and, different cultures across the world did offer that to their gods to receive in return an abundance of crops, all those kinds of things. But we're in a different time now where we don't have to do that.
Yeah. You're right. First. No, I don't believe devils were African spirits. That's not accurate.
Hello. Oh my gosh. Hi, Leticia.
How did you guys deal with spiritual awakening? I think we're always all awakening. It's a continuous process of evolving. I know there are dark nights of the soul where it was rough. And, all things change. So just knowing that tomorrow's a new day, and by going into what's hard on the other end, you're going to end up free from all of the things that are hard to deal with during the awakening.
Hi, enjoy your day too, the Witch of Moon's Lane. I love your name.
Thank you for being here.
How can I become one? One of what? Yeah, spiritual awakenings, it's hard to say like and define it, because I feel like as humans we go through so many different forms of evolving and growing as soul beings that it's a bit of like one of those kind of words that are just thrown around the spiritual community. And there are definitely more like times where I'm like, whoa, this was huge. But I feel just, yeah, it's kind of just thrown around so much in the spiritual community. Just like, the word shadow work, but really what is shadow work? Really, what is a spiritual awakening? It's all going to be so different and unique to everyone. And for me, it was really the deconditioning of what has been conditioned into me throughout my time here in this physical body. And it was giving myself grace for uncovering the parts of myself that really wasn't who I was, and coming home to myself. And that looks different every single day. So it's giving yourself grace and understanding and time to just deconstruct what it is that you're feeling. And also uncovering those traumas and those wounds, and knowing that they're not something that is going to diminish you in any way. You can actually use it in your strength. So the parts of ourselves that we feel are not worthy in society, because that's what society has conditioned us into believing, those are the parts of ourselves that we nurture and we honor, and we're able to transmute and alchemize that into something that empowers us.
I agree. I think spiritual awakening is healing. It is the shadow work per se. It is going into something, not something, but many things that broke us and that we pushed down. So if you think of it like breaking your leg and then going through your entire life with a broken leg, well, then you eventually have to have surgery, because that broken leg is affecting every aspect of your life. And you have to come to that point where you realize, like, I may not have dealt with it then. I may have pushed through and thought that was my strength, but now I'm realizing it's not. And so to actually re-break that leg, to go into surgery and re-break it, it's often hurts worse than the initial wound that happened maybe 20, 30 years ago. And you wake up to all the ways that wound shaped your life. And then you have to have that grace you were talking about with yourself, and you learn to love yourself for developing all of these shadow qualities that really weren't you. They were programmed into you by society, by your well-meaning parents, by, our whole society is broken. When everyone is raised in a patriarchal society, we can't expect our parents to do a 100% A+ job raising us. And so we've all got healing to do.
How do you know if I'm doing things right? Okay, so don't compare yourself to anyone else. And I think that's when the insecurity can come into your mind, because you kind of look at everyone else and you're kind of seeing what they're doing. You're like, oh, that's different to what I'm doing. But truly, when you are practicing the craft, it is a very intuitive and individual practice. Of course, it's important to dedicate yourself and do your research, to learn about the different correspondence, to connect yourself with nature, to learn about astrology. But really it comes down to what feels right for you, because Harmony and I have spoken about this a lot, but years ago I would blow out my candles because for me, I grew up learning that blowing out your candles, like your breath is the breath of life. So for me, I was actually enchanting that candle and sending it out into the universal energy and co-creating that wish, that intention, that belief, that working with my breath by combining my breath of life with the fire, with the other elements, earth, air, fire, water, all of the things, and just becoming in unison with that energy. But then I got a lot of death threats and a lot of hate from a lot of witches who are very Wiccan based in their practice that I should not be blowing out my candles. So it is very, very different for every single person. So it's very important to obviously learn about respect, what's respectful in the craft, especially around closed practices, cultural appropriation, all of that. But when it comes down to what feels right for you, it's going to be very different for the next person. So absolutely dedicate yourself to learning and researching. But again, it's got to feel right to you.
It's who you're learning from, and just understanding that there's no right or wrong. There really is no right or wrong, because witchcraft began in the European area and it spread across the entire planet. So now every culture has their form of witchcraft. So you can't say this is right and this is wrong. And people are doing that online. And I think it makes everyone afraid to practice anything. Like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? It's expand your knowledge, follow your bloodline and where you come from, and deep dive into that cultural witchcraft. And if you find a teacher or a mentor, someone you want to follow, or emulate or learn from, then know that even what they're teaching you, it can maybe not feel right to you, and you can do the opposite, and that's okay.
Yeah. Someone just, it's like death threats, question mark. Yeah, absolutely. The witch community can be very, very toxic. And I think what we've also noticed on, Witch Talk and the witch community and online is that obviously everyone has the right to share what they do, how they practice, but there is a lot of like gatekeeping, like someone tried to gatekeep the cauldron and say that it was a closed practice, and people believed that. So it is very, very important that you have to take responsibility and accountability for the information that you consume and take in, and then do your research around that, because everyone has an opinion on social media, and more than ever, actually. So it really comes down to being sovereign and autonomous in your practice and who you are as a person, as an individual person, and learn and take it in, but also only things that resonate with you, because everyone is just spreading so much misinformation, and it can be quite toxic. And that's when also the insecurity can come in and the comparison can come in of, oh, am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it right? But when you are truly sovereign in who you are in your practice, you follow your intuition more. Like, your intuition is your most important and powerful divination tool. So when you are tapped into that and you're tuned into that, you'll be watching other people less and less. It's good to have your resources. It's good to have your mentors. But again, for me, I have a lot of people, ask me, what is my sources? What books did I read? And it's a lived practice. It's a lived experience. It's my lived craft, because I grew up learning about it my entire life before I actually realized that it was named witchcraft. As a child, it was just a way of being. And that's what witchcraft is. It's a way of living and a way of being. In connection to self, to others, to the universal energy, to nature, to the elements.
It's a remembering of who you are, and that remembering is going to come through everybody a little bit differently. So it's almost, it's good, I feel, that you take what was given to you and don't worry about what's written in the books, because it truly is something that was brought through your family line. And I believe that's more potent than anything that has been, distorted throughout the ages, because they really truly tried to completely destroy everything to do with who the witch really was. And that's why when you really look at who everyone is pointing the finger or saying is witches, it's like, basically we're all witches then, but that's not the case. So
I know. Oh gosh. And what Harmony and I do, like we were talking about this. I'm going to come back to the comment that says why the hats, but this is just what I want to talk about now.
Yeah, I wanted to hit that one too. Not hit
Is
it, touch on it.
yeah, there's a lot of people out there. There are a lot of practitioners that offer their spell work. And, Harmony and I could easily do that where we, offer our spell work and we spell cast on behalf of people. And I heard this quote the other day because I have been like contemplating, do we do that? Because we hold our retreats, we hold our moon circles, we are teaching people. And this quote came through on the radio, actually, the most random grocery store ad where it was, and it's an old, I think it's a Chinese philosopher that it originates from, but it's like, you can feed a man a fish and he'll be fed for a day, or you can teach the man how to fish and he'll be fed for life. And so I was just like, holy shit, I really resonate in the respects of Harmony and I could spellcast on behalf of people, and it'll be a very, temporary fix, of course, and in a way disempowering, what I believe is because we could be teaching people how to do their craft and empower themselves on their own, in their own craft, and they have that skill and that ability for life. And that's what we truly believe, that our legacy, that our mission here is to remind people of their power and empower themselves with themselves, and not take that power from them, and hold them accountable and teach them responsibility and moral ethics, but just be that guiding light so that people come home to themselves rather than kind of doing it for them. So that's why we do our courses. We've got our Baneful Magic course and our Manifestation Magic course, as well as our retreats that we do together. And so, yeah, that's why we do what we do.
And we do have a new course that is in the works. It's in the planning stages. So hopefully in June we'll start that.
Yeah, after the retreat in Salem. So going back to why the hats. So for me, first and foremost, it is about reclamation of what has been ridiculed for centuries with women and in connection to the witch archetype. But also I designed and created these hats especially out of wool, because the wool has a spiral-like fiber with the resonance and energy of about 5,000 megahertz, which is very closely attuned to the Earth's electromagnetic energy. So automatically you put your hat on, you are grounded, you feel shielded. It's a form of veiling as well. So if you're wanting to do your castings and you're doing something where you kind of want to be a bit more veiled from the world, the hat is perfect for that. Also, when you flip a hat upside down, it is the shape of a woman's womb. So is that representation and connection to the divine feminine. But again, we get ridiculed for wearing the hats, but they're so much deeper than what people are associating with them. Yes, they protect the crown, absolutely. So there is so much more to the hats than what people just assume there is.
Well, and they can help open your channel as well, because connected to the cone of power, as the point is going up and you're fully grounded because of the wool. Not that all hats are made of wool, but I think that's why yours are so extra special. You feel that protection and connection when you're wearing them. And for myself, wearing a hat is part of being seen. And when you look back historically, the alewives wore these to be seen in the markets, on the streets, and to sell their brews to people. And we're not selling brews on street corners because the Roman Catholics are coming through and killing all the pagans. We are wearing them as a reclamation of who we are. So when you scroll past us, there's no doubt that we are witches. There may be some witches that scroll by and they do comment their mean comments, and they don't ask why the hat. So we appreciate when you ask the question, why the hat, rather than immediately judging it as a stereotypical cosplay witch thing, because the hat is actually sacred to us. And at every retreat, there is a ceremony of offering the hat to you to wear during that retreat. And you learn why you're wearing it, and you wear it throughout that time period. And videos are taken, photographs are taken, and it's like are, you know, some people are going to look at it and say, oh, is that like something for Halloween? And it's like, no, that is who we are. So there is a true reclamation of saying, I am a witch when you're wearing this hat, even though we might get beat up for it at the same time.
And, you know, I saw a video actually the other day that went quite viral where it's like a true witch will never show that they're really a witch or show their practice or da 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 da. A true witch is that you don't actually know that they're a witch. And it goes, you know, right with what Harmony is saying is that we are not hiding who we are. We have done that. Our ancestors have done that for centuries, and we are done with that, and we are not hiding.
That person's video that went viral, those videos that go viral do more harm to the craft than anything else, because why are we going to hide in modern days? We don't need to hide. By hiding, you're giving into them that something's wrong with you or you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. The whole world can know you're a witch, like Stella and I, and you guys have no idea what we're doing behind closed doors. And you don't, because look at our page. We show you what we're doing at our retreats, but we're not showing you all our spells. We're not showing you all of our rituals.
It's like the smallest glimpse of what we do. You know, we live and breathe our craft every single day in big and small ways. And, you know, people I think can scroll past, you know, our pages and just have that assumption and judge. But that truly is just a reflection of a shadow that they're not acknowledging within themselves. You know, if they're not wanting to be seen, if they're not wanting to put themselves out there. But we don't care. We're in the fucking firing line, and we'll take a hit if it means that there is someone out there that sees our videos and feels inspired to come out of the broom closet and not hide anymore.
Exactly. Because there's so many witches that are like, they just want to blend in with everybody else. They will flat out say that, like, I'm just like everyone else. And it's like, yeah, you're human like everyone else, but we also are very different than everyone else. And that's okay. That's okay. I don't want to blend in with the masses. Why would I? Would you? Think about the people in our world. Everyone is freaking toxic and wounded, and I don't want to be a part of it. So if you see me and know I'm different, good.
Yeah, that is good. And you know what? There is so much drama online, and Harmony and I are never a part of it. We are never a part of it. So, yeah, we're not interested in, you know, dehumanizing people or ridiculing other people for how they practice their craft. Yeah, you know, we may not agree with how some things are being misinformed online, but we're not going to sit there and ridicule them for what they do. You know, it's just not what resonates with us. We'll keep sharing what it is that we do and what we believe in, you know, so our light is what scares them. Yeah, like honestly, it is like the light within us will absolutely illuminate the shadow in other people. Then it's up to them to either project or actually do the work themselves. And a lot of them will not take accountability and project.
Thank you, mods, for being on fire today. I'm seeing you all blocking, and yeah.
I can do that too. Thank you so much. We appreciate you more than anything.
Yes. Keeping our chat safe.
But if anyone has any questions, I know Harmony and I can go like little tangents because we are very passionate about what it is that we do. So, you know, just send through the question again if we didn't see it.
Yeah, I think what's different about Stella and I is we are true priestesses in the craft, even though we are not Wiccan, and everything we do is in service to the goddess and to the collective. And so, like Stella was saying, we're willing to take the judgment, the hits, the oh, how cute!
I have that all the time. Just like walk around with wings
like a little fairy.
Yeah, and you know, when we reference being a priestess, it's in no way, shape, or form in any way hierarchy at all.
No.
There's no above or below. We're equal. So, and that's how we run our retreats. And, yeah, like just watching back the beautiful video, there's one of us on the beach and we're all just in deep connection with each other and watching the moon rise after we did
That video.
the yeah, the
Drawing down the moon.
drawing down the moon ritual. Then we watch this red moon rise, and all of us are just so deeply connected with each other. And I just think that is how we should be, as women and as witches. We're here to remind you of the power that you hold within. Magic is not separate from you. You are the magic, and that's what we remind you of.
That video you made that's on your page is so, that video, I don't think people realize when they're watching that video what they're watching. Like, the moon rose red after we drew down the moon. It was not dark yet when we were doing the ceremony. We were pulling that power. And then when she shone herself, like, she was red. Like, I gives me chills thinking about it right now.
And I don't think I saw the moon any other time, especially being red. I actually never seen the moon red like that.
Yeah, I
Like,
haven't
it looked
either.
like the sun. Like, it looked like the sun that was setting, but it was the moon and she was rising and there was not a cloud in the sky. And we didn't even actually know that we would see the moon after the ritual. It was actually a really huge surprise. So we would look at that and then we just like lifted up our wands in honor of the moon goddess. It was so special.
It just gives me chills. I fully believe that I know in that moment when that moon rose red, like all the star brothers and sisters were watching over us. And I just believe they're watching us from other planets and the goddess or whoever created us, whatever you call that, is watching over this planet and seeing all the horrors. And then there are these tiny moments where that red moon, someone was listening to us. Someone brought that red moon from the other side. That moon came because of our collective magic. And every time I watch that video, when you see everybody's wands go up one at a time, nobody said lift your wands. Not that I recall. We were just standing there, and I know it was you and me and Aaron arm in arm, and it was just, oh, I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life.
No, I will never forget that moment either. It is truly imprinted into our soul forever and after this life. It really is.
You never know what's going to happen at retreats when you get all that magic together. It's like someone cued the red moon.
I know. And you know what? Like, Harmony and I do have a structure for our ceremonies and our rituals, but a lot of the time things can change from outside influence or whatever. So like Harmony and I just have to look at each other and we just like follow each other intuitively of what we should be doing. I don't think a lot of the ladies realize that. So a lot of those things were just us completely in tune with each other's energy and frequency. And we just were co-creating this magic with each other and with our sisters, and it just was so epic. It was so epic.
Yeah. And you were at Practical Magic when the coyotes started howling, weren't you? That was another time where it was just like, you can't make this stuff up that happens.
When I came to Sedona, and it was the day before the Practical Magic retreat, and I felt very drawn to going down to Flagstaff because I was like, let's just go for a little drive. Actually, I think we were going to go to the Grand Canyon, but it was a little bit further than what we realized. So we stopped in Flagstaff on the way back. And I said to Chris, I really just want to go into that forest, this beautiful pine forest, and just give an offering to this land, to the original custodians of this land. Because, obviously I'm from Australia, so I'm coming onto this sacred land. So I asked one of my beautiful friends who is native, and she said, this is what you need to give, tobacco and go to the land and give that offering to them. And so I did do that. And one of the biggest things that I asked for was, give me signs that you received my gifts. Coyotes are very deeply revered. And so the night, I think it was like even the night before, remember how I went back to the hotel and there was a coyote and I sat with a coyote for like 15 minutes and she was like half a meter away from me. And I think everyone thought I was freaking crazy because they're like, what are you doing right near a coyote? And so I experienced that with the coyote. And then when we're at the cemetery and those coyotes were howling as you were giving the offering to that grave,
the coyotes unknown. Yeah.
I was like, we have been like, they have accepted our gifts and our offerings. They truly have. The spirits of the land, the original custodians of this land, they have, you know, and I think that's what really is present in how we do our rituals, is that, you know, we do things in deep honor, not only to ourselves, but to those who walk this path before us and to the original custodians of the land that we're on as well. And we receive then that deep magic in return.
Yeah, they respond to us. Just that moment when one of the sisters, I will never forget what she said. Like, the grave was marked unknown, and she said, unknown, but not unknown to us. And if you live anywhere where you've heard coyotes, it's almost this eerie, like, I don't even know how to describe it. They all like start yipping at the same time. And it was daylight when that happened. And that never happens, if you know coyotes, in the day. It happens at night all the time and in the early mornings, but not at like, what was it, 5:30 in the evening? Yeah.
It was daylight. Yep. And I remember walking away from that experience, like back to where we were staying, and red cardinals were also in the trees. I'd never seen a red cardinal before. And I know that they have a deep connection to our ancestors as well. And to see the red cardinals in the trees, and walking also to the cemetery, the ravens up in the tree. Yes. And then when we were in Salem at Proctor's Ledge, we had the ravens up in the trees as well. I was like, yeah.
It's truly magical. And that's the thing about being a solitary witch, is I feel like there's many solitary witches out there. And so because we don't want to be a part of Wicca and the traditional covens that are out there, that doesn't mean we don't long for those group community experiences. We need them more than ever. And so I believe that's what Stella and I are creating, is that ability to remain your own sovereign practitioner with your own beliefs, but come and practice with us together and experience the energy that can come and the results that can happen from our combined intention, our combined energy, our combined craft.
And I think, you know, when we do gather in circle at the retreats, you know, even my moon circles that we do every fortnight, every new moon, every full moon, you know, there is this common thread that we're all experiencing. And it is like, you know, even though we are solitary practitioners, there is that longing for that connection, and we don't feel so alone, because a lot of us have experienced something similar, if not the same. And it's like, yeah, you just have that sense of loneliness lift from your heart. And I think that's why we create the safe spaces that we do, because, you know, there are some, you know, when people ask me about, you know, how can I find a coven, I'm very mindful, because I have heard that covens can be quite toxic as well. So
they're very hierarchy based, if they're
very hierarchy based, which is fine. Like, if you need to be initiated and you have to go through all these different things, that's totally fine if that's what suits and fits you. But for us, that's not how we do things. You're completely out? Oh, good. Out of the broom closet? People were much more accepting than I thought they would have been. Yeah. That's beautiful for you. Very beautiful. And, you know, we are also mindful that, you know, when we say come out of the broom closet, there are people who are in families that, you know, are very, very strictly, you know, religious, where it's not safe for them to do so. So we try to guide people to be able to practice their craft in a way that is not, you know, how we do it is very, very out in the open. but there are times where it may not be safe for people to do so. So you can still practice your craft without having to show that to people as well.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, a lot of our craft is done in private. The spell work we're doing and stuff, we aren't showing online. But what we do show online is enough to let people know you're not alone. And that's always been, I think, where Stella and I connected is why we're showing what we show around our craft and how we show up, is to let people know we aren't killing babies, we aren't sacrificing animals. There's just so many misconceptions, and our ceremonies are very different than what they're doing on E Island or anything else that has evil connected to it. Everything we do is for the highest good of all.
And I gotta say, like with everything that's come out, with the elites, I have to be careful. We have to be very careful about what words we use. I was getting flagged yesterday for using some of them. That a lot of the things that the witches were accused of doing, the rich white men were doing, and they scapegoated them onto the witches. So, the eating the babies, the stealing the babies, all of that was obviously the rich white men was then blamed on the women and the witches that did it.
They were scapegoating the women.
Scapegoating the women and placing or kind of just diverting people's attention from them and onto the women, of course, right? So it's like, oh,
Our relationship,
power women.
our relationship with fear right now is very important. And I think it's been very important for the last 6 years because they're attempting to use fear against us again, so that we start turning our power over to someone else. And the thing is that the age of Aquarius isn't like Pisces, where we were meant to turn to a guru or a teacher or a leader. We are meant to come together in community. And I also believe that's why it's so important to Stella and I that, yeah, we are a guide. We may be teaching, we may be leading, but we don't want to be your guru. We are empowering you to know that you have the power to do everything. That's why we don't want to do spells for you. We want you to know that you can do your own spells.
I think, take people off a pedestal and see them as the human that they are as well. And, with everything that's been happening in the world, that fear aspect is what they want. It's what happens every couple of years. A few years ago it was the pandemic, and I said back throughout the pandemic that it is through war, pandemic, and all that kind of stuff is that they create that collective fear. They want everyone to be collectively fearful because it sees them like, running around like crazy little ants trying to, because they're just so full of fear. But that's how they want everyone. It's how they create that disconnection and they create that control. They can control the collective through fear. Exactly, Robin. Mister.
What's crazy? Just an hour ago, I was on the phone with you, crying all emotional and being all mopey. And now it's like my whole energy has changed. I'm so glad I got on this live.
I know, me too. Yeah, I was like, should we postpone it? I'm like, no, we're actually going to do it. So I'm proud of us for feeling all the feels and still showing up and coming on.
Emotional overwhelm. I think you've had weeks of headaches too. So that makes me feel better. Like I was kind of like, is this my health? What is going on? Like what's wrong? But also knowing you're having them. I think.
Oh my God. Yeah, last night I went to bed with like my eyes aching, my head aching, and I didn't check the Schumann resonance because that's like the electromagnetic energy of like the earth and like what's all happening. So if that's like spiking, if that's going crazy, that can definitely cause, the migraines and the headaches and all of that. So
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna see if I can turn out this light. It's kind of bothering my eyes. I don't know if that'll make me too dark, but
Making sure we didn't miss questions.
Solar flares. Are there solar flares? I do know I get headaches when there are solar flares. That
Yeah,
can't
be
be.
interesting to see if it is, because far out. Far out. Because like all planets are direct right now, so we can't blame it on retrogrades. And we've got the full moon in Libra coming up. So that's tomorrow for you guys, Thursday for us.
But Friday, Venus meets Pluto, and Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth, and it's got all that scorpionic energy meeting the feminine. So I think, sometimes you feel those things before they actually arrive.
Mm.
So many solar flares. So it sounds like other people are watching that there's solar flares. We're just feeling it.
We're feeling it. Sometimes we don't even need to check. It's like, yeah, something's going on.
Yeah. My dreams have been crazy. Like amazing crazy, actually.
Right. Someone said abracadabra. You do realize that's one of the oldest like forms of magic that you can say, incantation that you can say. And then over years it was kind of diminished because it was used in like Hollywood movies and like, oh, abracadabra. But actually, really, it's an ancient incantation that you can say. So
Let's talk about the welcome mat, because I have a video out right now where we're throwing salt over our shoulders as we're leaving the house. It's more of a ritual than a spell about the house remembering. And there's a welcome mat out there, and I never remove it during the retreats because I know everyone tries to fear monger that. And it's like, if that's your belief, cool, you can believe that. But for me, I don't believe that. I think it's kind of silly and ridiculous.
So again, it brings me back to the whole, don't blow your candle out. Okay, so it really does sort of grind my gears about how much information is out there. And I know there is a lot of superstition in different cultures. And of course, if that particular superstition is a part of your ancestral culture and that's what you want to honor, of course. But across the collective, why are we spreading so much disempowering information? A welcome mat. I'm sorry, but there are no demons waiting outside your house or your home, waiting for you to have a welcome mat and for you then to invite them in just with the welcome. It doesn't work that way. Spirit doesn't work that way. Energy doesn't work that way. They don't wait for a fucking welcome mat to be there, So it really comes down to your own personal beliefs. And again, like our mind is so powerful. Our beliefs, our feelings, our emotions, our actions hold so much power. So if you wholeheartedly believe that a welcome mat is going to bring nefarious energy into your home, guess what you're just creating for yourself?
Yep.
So stop creating so much and sharing so much disempowering information. It really fucking annoys me actually how much people just disempower themselves. It really does.
Yeah, 100%. What you believe is you're giving power to. So if, I seen someone had a post today about, you can't curse me because I don't believe you can curse me. It's like, amen to that, because what we believe is what is in our reality. So the people that are like on my page saying, get rid of that welcome mat, or you don't know what you're doing with that welcome mat there. It's like, I am not going to give my power away to some welcome mat, or the thought that it's going to the circles I cast, the energy I carry is so much more powerful than some welcome mat. Nothing is entering that space with me there. Period.
And I also see, and you know what, this might go a little bit, the people on Witch Talk or just on the spiritual community doing, readings where you just scroll past and they're just automatically into you, where they're giving you negative information. And it's like, you did not consent to that at all. So I'm kind of like, ugh. But it's also a lot of people that will go to psychics or people who are like, you have an evil entity attached to you, or you have a psychic attack going on, or you have a curse, or you have this. So these psychic mediums who have a huge responsibility to not be spreading fear or disempowering people, they are doing that. the amount of people that have come to me that have said, I was told by a psychic that I have a demon attached to me, or that I have, someone psychic attacking me, or a hex or a curse or something like that. Guess what? You've just created that for yourself because you believed it.
Mm-hmm.
You should be so sovereign and autonomous in your energy, in, your presence, that nothing can actually permeate that. I guarantee Harmony and I probably have people throwing at us constantly, all the time. I was talking to actually the custodian of the witch house. Her name is Elizabeth, and she's also a historian. And she was talking about this scholar, effluvia, I think what it was. But basically it was a study and a research and a text about how your eyes can, have some kind of energetic, things that permeate out to other
The
people.
elements collect behind your eyes. Yes, I believe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I believe that. So, people, that's how the evil eye was created, right? But again, like, you should not be affected by how other people are looking at you, how they, the energy that they're pushing towards you, because again, it's their own shit that they're projecting onto you. That you need to really hone in on your sovereignty and your protection and your energetic hygiene, that nothing that other people are throwing towards you could affect you, and can affect you, and will affect you. So again, that's the welcome mat. It's one of those things that it's like a gateway to so much more that is being misinformed on social media, where it's just disempowering people. So please, people, and the psychics as well. Like, if someone says that you're hexed or you're cursed, and you start believing that, and you start experiencing, and on the Ouija board is another thing.
Oh my gosh.
The Ouija board, the amount of people that have said, I was having a discussion with my sister's boyfriend that's like, that is the gateway to hell. That will just create portals to demons. And I'm just like, okay, if that's what you believe, one, are you religious? But also, if that's what you believe, guess what you'll experience?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, we create such safe, protected space around the Ouija board. So when we actually practice the Ouija board, which again is another divination tool, just like the tarot and oracle, your pendulum, all of that, you're not going to experience that unless it is what you believe. So when I hold a seance, I will actually do a little bit of a disclaimer. If you come in here with a conditioned way of thinking the Ouija board works, if you believe that, and if you go away thinking that everything, that you stubbed your toe, your car broke down, if you blame that on the Ouija board, this is not for you. This is not for you, because it is a very clear channel to the unseen realms and to spirit, and to your loved ones who are in the spirit realm, that you should not be going in there with a very conditioned way of thinking of what you are going to experience, because that will be what you experience.
It is
So really
practicing mediumship is what you're doing with a spirit board or a Ouija board. So, yeah. And that is what makes a witch different than just someone that's practicing spells, is our divination, is our connection to the unseen realms.
Yeah. I think it upsets both of us a lot, the fact how disempowered people are. I do see a lot of witches talking about the Ouija board being evil and not to touch it. I'm just like,
that's because everyone says they're a witch now. We don't even really know who the witch is anymore.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I think it is one of those words that people throw around at the moment, that they're not actually living it. They're not actually living it. But I can show you, Harmony, you should show them your Ouija board too. I'll show them mine.
Oh, goodness.
I got this Ouija board in Salem, actually, from the Witchboard Museum. It's from the 1930s. But yeah, where are you seeing it, right? Oh, I gotta flip it around so you can see it properly. I don't know if I can flip it around, can I? Oopsie.
Where's my planchette? Oh, I want to visit Sam.
Sam came through the last seance. So Sam is one of the guardians of the board, who came through in Salem, actually, and he was so in love with Harmony. And I think there's only been one seance since Salem that he hasn't come through, but every other one he has come through and he's always said, like, tell Harmony I love her and she is beautiful. I'm like, I will, Sam, I will. But yeah, that is
So we both have antique Ouija boards.
I love it. Love it. But I did ask the guardians of the board and they're like, no, I don't want to go back to Salem. So I was like, what am I gonna do?
Have you ever done, I know you need to bring Sam.
I know. Well, maybe I have a seance on the 11th of April, so I might just conjure Sam in, invoke him, and just be like, hey, like, if I bring the board, you get to chat to Harmony.
But I also know it's scary bringing it, because if you were to lose it, and it's such a sacred, like I was so worried about bringing mine to Salem, so I get it if you don't. I mean, you're traveling quite far.
I am very nervous about having it in my suitcase, especially because it would be, you know, I've got 2 flights to catch. So we go to New Zealand, then we fly into Austin, and then we fly into Boston, and then we've got all those flights back as well. So it does make me nervous. And I did ask the guardians if there was another board waiting for me in Salem, and they said yes. So I was like, okay.
I want to get another board too.
Well, maybe we should message him actually, and just say we're after a board. Would you want one that size, like one of the big ones?
Mm-hmm. I think so. And let them know we're going to bring the ladies there for the retreat. We can't forget that. We're doing things different at this retreat. We found, if you guys haven't been to Salem, there are places that everyone traditionally goes that we're not taking the women because we found them so disempowering.
One being the very iconic witch museum. We will not be going to that one because it perpetuates the witch in a very negative light. It was just so outdated and just horrifying, quite honestly. So even though it's quite iconic and people suggest you go there when you go to Salem, you know, no. I mean, we're not interested in the commercialization aspect of Salem. We're going there to do healing work. You know, we have been deep diving into the true history of Salem, and we're very lucky to have a historian that is able to share information with us of what, because she's grown up there as well, but also she has a lot of information. So yeah, there just are places in Salem that we just would not recommend if you're going there for the true essence of what Salem is rather than the commercialization of Salem.
Yeah, I hope the owner updates it too, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. So we're not going to support it.
No, exactly. I think he's made it very clear that it makes money. And so has it been updated, since the 80s, was it?
70s, I think.
70s. I thought it was the 60s yesterday, but I'm like, surely not. Surely it's not that long. But maybe it is.
Money talks, yeah. Unfortunately.
I can just feel how many deep reading everyone was listening to you. You'd be surprised. Or not at the same time. Hi.
No, Salem is not the origin of divination. Salem I think that's the height of the witch trials. They started diminishing after Salem. So like what people here in the US forget is the witch trials came before Salem. They brought the witch archetype and the witch wound from Europe over to the US. And all of their superstitions and all of their fear mongering and all of their judgments and hate over to the US. So the origin of divination is not in Salem.
Yeah, it dates way, 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 way back further than Salem. And yeah, the reason why we're choosing to go to Salem is because there is a deep residual underlying energy that needs to be healed around the witch wound. You know, our hope is to go back to like my homeland, which is in Europe, which is Scotland. We would love to do a retreat there, but there is work that needs to be done in Salem. So yeah. Oh, Marjorie said I can bring one of my Ouija boards. Ooh.
We're going to go to the Ouija board museum, Marjorie. So you may want to buy one there. So hold on bringing your Ouija board unless you feel called to bring that one. But we're going to go to the Ouija board museum. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Stella, I used your mat last full moon. Oops. I'm just slow reading. Last full moon, and I've never had the more powerful ritual. Oh, yay. Oh my gosh. I've had some really beautiful feedback. So thank you.
I know Erin got her mat. Marjorie, did you get your mat?
There was some kind of like snow, whatever thing that happened in New York.
New York. Yeah,
Check the track
of that. Yeah.
But it's just, it was sitting there at the Jamaica, New York distribution center. New York is still holding my hostage. I think you're going to have to put in like a investigation through USPS to kind of hurry up their process. That's just irritating to me. But I can show everyone else what they look like, what we're talking about. Upstairs. I don't know if I can flip it. I don't know because I'm on. I don't know if I can. What? Can I flip it? Does anyone know if you can flip it when it's
Try it.
I got no idea what I would click. What's that? Oh no, that's we can privately chat when we're on here. That's a new thing. Nope, can't do that.
There are a bunch of new things I noticed. Oh, hi Rebecca. Hi Haley. Hi Eclectic.
Oh, what about if I just click it? Nope. Oh my god, I so have not done a live in so long that I just got no idea. Anyway, so this is the Into the Shadows ritual mat.
I know.
And then this is the Towards the Light ritual mat. And they're made from recycled plastic bottles, but it's like this really beautiful suede-like fabric. That one. And then we've got this one as well. So I use them in my ceremonial. And then I've also got one over here in my personal practice room. So they're just everywhere, really. And this is one of my altars as well. So this wing I actually brought back from Salem. Can you believe I got this through customs? But they took my brooms.
I cannot believe they took your brooms still. Oh.
No. And this one was a deer that passed away, and it had been sitting in someone's paddock for a very long time. And so nature did its thing. As you can see, it's naturally lost all of the skin and the meat. So it's not bleached or anything like that. It was what the sun did to it. So I love. Anyway, so yeah, that's my ceremonial room up here.
Yeah, they took her besom.
I was so sad about it. And this is my little seance room that I do down here. Why can't we live in the same bloody country so this could be ours?
I want to come to your cottage.
Sucks. Yeah, they took my broom. It was I cried actually in customs. It was Australian customs. They're quite strict. But the lady was kind of like, yeah, you know what, it should be fine, but just let me get my supervisor. He came over and he was such an asshole. And he's just like, no, you either have to get it fumigated or destroyed. And I said, well, how much will it be to fumigate it? And he said, $1,500 minimum. And I was like, what? And so I was just sobbing and crying, and they're like, well, what do you want us to do? It'll probably get destroyed when it's fumigated anyway. And I just had, well, I'll just been traveling for like 35 hours, just going to have to take it, but whatever. Little did you know, I had an antique Ouija board, 2 bird wings, dirt, herbs, flowers, all of that in my suitcase. Yeah, it was devastating because I paid like $200 to actually even let the airline, even though I had 2 suitcase like allowance. They were like, no, you still have to pay for it. So I paid like $200 US to even get it back to Australia, and then I got it to Australia, and they're like, no, that's the second time in a row that they've destroyed and taken my broom. The first one didn't even make it back to Australia. It got lost in transit, and they just destroyed it. So.
You know what I learned at this last retreat? Margot's boyfriend is Wiccan, and he told her that we are saying besom wrong, that you're supposed to say besom.
I say besom. I will never say besom.
I mean, once you say it one way, it's hard to change the way you say it, but
What? That feels right to me, because like it's like calendula. A lot of people say calendula, and I'm like, I will never call that herb calendula. I will always call it calendula. Like always.
well, that is like the phonetic spelling of it is calendula, but yeah, you say it calendula. But who cares? Who gets to say how it is supposed to be said or how it isn't supposed to be said?
Oh my gosh, Hartley, hi! Oh, Marjorie, it's not spelled besom. Exactly.
Is Hartley on here? Hi, Hartley.
Yeah. Well, we went to the USPS in Salem, and it was going to cost $700 US to send it back. So I was just like, all right, we're just going to have to try and take it. And we boxed it all up. It was all boxed and everything. And yeah, they still just, yeah.
I'm so excited for everything we're doing. Like, even though this is the same retreat, we're doing so many things different, like going to the witchery to make our own broom. I'm excited to experience that.
Harmony, we're doing a private ritual in the witch house.
I know. I just got Psycho Eyes there. That was like a Erica Kirk Psycho Eyes moment.
Like, that's pretty unheard of, but there is a reason why we're doing that. You know, so much led up to this moment, and we alchemized something that was a very shitty, uncomfortable experience now into something that is really, truly beautiful. So it's not very often that you get exclusive private access to the witch house, which is the home to one of the prosecutors and judges, Jonathan Corwin, but also it was an apothecary chemist for way longer than it was his house. But a lot of his children, actually nearly all of his children, passed away in that house, and his wife and himself too. So
yeah,
there is a lot of history. We do believe that the witch house, even though it was moved at one point, is the heart of Salem, and we are going to be creating an energetic like grid across Salem for healing. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, we've experienced and heard from other people who live there the toxicity between the witches and the covens is, I believe that's a reflection of all the heavily Christian influence that's there, and that it's holding that negative vibration, because people don't realize in Christianity there's so many, when you talk about entity attachments, being involved in Christianity has such a historic thread of growing entities and attachments, and it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm like, did I say that backwards?
But I just like, Theo was like, no, that's right. That's actually right.
I love to mix those things up and say them backwards, but that is truly what Christianity is. I know people believe they're doing something really good and their heart is in the right place, but historically, even when they're reading that Bible, the incantations that they're reading, the spells that they're casting, the prayers that they're saying they're building that negative energy field. So I believe that energy is really dense in Salem, and that's where our work. I think that's why we're being called back. And like Stella said, we weren't planning on going back, but I mean, it was quite clear that we were meant to go back, even though we had no plan on going back.
Yeah, we have definitely been called back for sure. But even just the little experiences of realizing how Christian Salem still is, I went to one of I think it was the Harmony cemetery. I can't remember what it's called, Harmony Grove, I think. Mm-hmm. And I went to ask permission if we could go there. And the ladies who were in the house that resides in the cemetery, who oversee everything, were like, no. They were very conservative, very, very Christian. And they were just like, no, we do not welcome that here at all. And we're just like, okay, well, lucky I asked, because I think people do go there and they do things there, but it's actually not welcomed at all. And then when we're walking actually to the Samantha statue, there was one of the locals there, and he was very much like, we want to get rid of this Samantha statue. It has nothing to do with Salem. We're been petitioning to get rid of it for like 10 or 15 years. And he was saying that he was an ancestor of Proctor and, all of that kind of stuff. And, turns out that they did get approved of moving it back like 5 or 10 meters from its original spot. But what Salem doesn't actually realize is that the witch archetype is honored and celebrated there, to the point where Salem has been put on the map because of it. We go back to because I didn't know the correlation between Samantha, Bewitched, and Salem. I was like, what is that? But they filmed in Salem back in was it the 70s or the early 80s?
I think wasn't it 70s? And it was before Laurie Cabot is what we figured out, right?
The first time any form of witch was associated with Salem in that kind of way was on that show. And then Laurie Cabot came in the 80s. And it wasn't until the 80s that she opened up a shop in Salem. It was the first witchcraft shop in Salem in the 80s. And that's how it kind of then got, I guess, traction and momentum.
We do need to have a little meeting with Elizabeth and make sure we have all those dates straight about what is and what isn't, because we've been researching so much. Yeah.
So much. The one thing that I was really excited about from the last conversation that we had with Elizabeth was finding out that there was a witch in Salem, because they say there was never witches in Salem, there were just women, they were Christian women, which, yes, the women who were persecuted and unalived were Christian women. But there is one woman who never actually went on to trial or was prosecuted in any kind of way. And this is where Harvey and I have kind of had these conversations where it's like, there were witches in Salem, but they never got trialed because they were witches that were protected. So there's Mary Sybil is one of the women that we're researching right now, because she was actually the first person to do the witch cake in Salem, that then passed it on to, taught it to Tituba. And then Tituba then got demonized for that witch cake, but she was actually taught that witch cake.
And Mary Sibley was the one that uttered the curse at the person's front door. And then when they said, "What did you say?" she said, "I was just blessing you." And we both were like, "Oh, that."
Oh, and she never got, questioned or prosecuted or trialed or anything like that. And it makes me wonder, well, she was a witch. So... yeah,
I really like to think a lot of the witches actually made it out alive. The ones that were really witches.
I agree. It's interesting because, when she muttered that curse, under her breath as she was going out the threshold, the door of the man that was doing her wrong. And he thought that she was saying something bad. And the fact that she was just like, no, I was just blessing you. I was just saying thank you. And it was like, oh, I love it.
Now that is a witch.
It's kind of like that saying of have the day you deserve type thing, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're not necessarily wishing someone ill will, but you're kind of like, well, if you're a shitty ass person and being shitty, I wish you have the day that you deserve. I freaking love. Hello. Someone stole your banana plant?
Yeah, someone stole they came in her backyard and stole her banana plant. Can you believe that?
As in, like, it was actually rooted in the ground?
No, in a pot, I believe.
What? Wow.
Oh, hi, Kelly. She Wolf Tarot.
Hi. That is so wild. Like, it doesn't surprise me though, like, honestly. People are just, yeah. You know what's really, I don't know if it's good or a bad thing, but nothing surprises me anymore. And that does not surprise me.
I just can't help but think whoever did that, Marjorie, has been to your house, because to come in your backyard and take a banana plant, like, they had to have known what they were coming for. Why would you go in someone's backyard and take a banana plant?
Well, they stole from a witch, so.
Exactly. They're going to get the day they deserve. Even if that witch doesn't know what that day is, you know.
I don't think people understand how connected witches are to their plants. They are living wards.
And the plant spirit, I'm sure, will have its way with whoever took it as well.
True. That is true. It's that emoji.
That red emoji? What is that?
I can't see properly, so I'm really not sure.
I'm having trouble with the light in my room too.
If anyone has any questions for us, please send them through.
Oh, it's kisses?
They're kisses?
That's what Rebecca said.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Karina. It's a kissy face.
Oh, Gracie, you do not need to gift at all. You can ask a question.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to gift to ask a question. We have started padlocking the gates. Hecate has my back. I love that.
You can get your wizard hat. The moon, can you explain?
I actually wonder if the moon was here or if they brought the moon here later. Have you heard that theory?
I have not heard that theory. I mean, I've heard people gatekeeping the moon. I've heard people
how do you gatekeep the moon?
Texting the moon, cursing the moon.
Tell me how you gatekeep the moon. What the?
I can't. How did you guys become friends? Oh my gosh. I mean, funny story. Harmony slid into my DMs. But I did not see it because it was on TikTok and I did not check my TikTok DMs for obvious reasons. Like, they're just wild. And so how long was it that you were just thinking, oh my gosh, she's ignoring me. Maybe she doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah. And then it dawned on me. It was like a month or something. And then I was like, all of a sudden one day I thought, I can not really respond to my DMs. Maybe I should DM her on Instagram or I think I went on your live and said something. Was that what it was? Yeah. And you said DM me.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I did not know you messaged me, but I do not check my TikTok DMs message me on Instagram. And then, yeah, we've been speaking on Instagram. And then I so just wished and was yearning to go to Harmony's retreat that she holds in Sedona, her practical magic retreat, which is coming up this year in October, end of October. And there are spots still available, which is not normal. So if you are wanting to work, like, you know, do a retreat with Harmony, her Sedona one is calling your name. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'll be able to financially outlay like the travel there, but also being at the retreat and the travel and all that kind of stuff. And Harmony's like, well, we have a competition, like a giveaway where you can, you know, enter it. And if you get drawn by like a little random, like, what are they called? Wheels? The little random wheels?
Yeah, it's like an online spin. Like I put everybody's name in and it puts it in the wheel and
yeah. And I was like, you know what? I said to Chris, like, can I enter it? And if I get it, we got to go. And so that was like a month before the giveaway was ending. And so I just did it. I put it in. And then I think it was weeks later that Harmony messaged me at like 2 a.m. my time. It was like, Stella, go check my stories. And I looked at her stories and it was, she did like the little, like the wheel and it like clicked onto my name. And I was just like, I was like, Chris, we're going to America. And I'd never been. And you know what? A month before that, the reason why I actually entered it is because a psychic medium that I saw and that I wholeheartedly trust was like, you're going to Arizona. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, yep, just say yes. And I was like, and guess what? I went to Arizona. I went to Sedona, which is in Arizona. I went to the retreat and then Harmony and I just like instantly connected. And it was just like the universe had kind of like pushed us together from across the ocean, from across the world. And people, even at the retreat, was like, holy shit, like your energy is so magnetic to each other. And we were kind of like, no. And then we went to Salem the next week and it was like the most incredible experience ever.
yeah, I don't think we knew what the connection, like I think we knew like, oh, this is so cool. Like obviously we knew there was something, but still when we got together in person, it was like, whoa, what is this?
And we're kind of just like ignoring it throughout the retreat. And then it was when we went to Salem and it was just like we instantly knew each other. It was just like an instant, yeah, it's just like I've known you for many lifetimes before this. And now we've just been talking every single day. Yeah, we've held our first retreat, which was last August. And it was just like we'd done it so many times before, you know, which was really special.
Yeah, we planned so many things and then had to change them on the fly. And all we would do is look at each other. Even our husbands were in awe of like what we were doing because I think the ladies thought everything was exactly planned and going, but it was like, no, we did not plan on doing that then, but it happened that way.
And I think like the trust that we have with each other is like, I can't even explain it. Like one of the rituals that we did was on this big sundial just outside of Salem, Marblehead, which is one of the beaches there, and it's on the sundial. And, you know, when we went there and sourced that location originally, there was no people anywhere. So we were like, this is perfect. But of course, the day of the ritual, it was busy. So there were people on the beach, there were people walking around the sundial. And, you know, for a lot of the women, being seen was something new to them in our full witch like archetype. Like we embodied ourselves as the witch, not only just inward, but also outwardly. And even though that's comfortable and normal for us, a lot of the women, that's not the norm. So when we'd actually come to the sundial, there were people watching. And so we really had to hone in every one of these women. And we had to look at every single one of these women and be like, you are safe and you are protected. Not even verbally, it is like the connection energetically. And Harmony and I just looked at each other and were like, all right, this is our time. This is our time to really have this deep connection and create that protection. And it was almost like I got goosebumps thinking about it. We were in this like portal. And even though there was so much going around, like no one else knew, but I saw a cop walking past. I saw a lady walking past and I was like, we could have the whole ritual shut down, but we then really honed into that protection. And the lady just kind of spoke to our husbands and she was just interested. She drove past and she was just interested because there are people in Salem and the outskirts of Salem that are not supportive of the witch.
Yeah.
So we had full cauldron, flaming. We had the women with their candles. We had the women in, full ritual. And so when this cop walked past, I was like, someone's reported us. But I was like, no, we're here. And the mission that we're doing in this ritual is so far more important than getting it shut down. And she was just like, yep, see you later. Off you go. But yeah, it was just, we just looked at each other and knew instantly what needed to be done without even saying a word. It was, yeah.
That was crazy. The heat in that circle. I don't remember. You and I was literally sweating from what we were energetically protecting the women from, because so many people were surrounding us. And it was like, once we started going, everybody outside just disappeared and it was just us, but they didn't disappear. They were all still standing there.
100%. Like, Harmony, not only were we having to, work together and have that connection, but also working with all of the women, creating that protection with them and connection to then on the outsides of the circle. We had many different layers of what we had to navigate in that ritual. I mean, like we do with all rituals, but specifically this one, because we had us, our beautiful women, the outsides of the circle, then the people out there, then it was a lot. It was a lot.
The police officer,
Yeah, I was watching the police officer, but still trying to keep my composure and just being like, all right, you need to and it just turns out that she was interested and she just wanted to look at what we were doing, which was really cool. We also had our men who were being sort of like the energy keepers on the outside for us, like our anchors. So we knew that they were able to also help hold that protection as well for us. So if there was any, men seem to try and do that when we're doing our rituals, is to kind of make their presence known, just random men. And I would just look at them. There was one man who was getting close and I just looked at him and he was like, and kind of skedaddled off. And I was like, yeah, don't you fucking dare. Don't. But it was nice to know that we had our men that were out there also being energy holders and anchors for us.
Yeah, that's the highest expression of the masculine, is when they can create that safe space for the feminine to do what we want to do.
Yeah, I don't think people fully realize that there are men out there that support women in their most authentic state of being, which is for us as a witch. Oh, that's so good to hear, Erin.
Yeah, Erin's Gingy girl, if you don't know.
Yeah. If anyone has any questions for us, oh, no, I don't want to leave live. Why did I do that? Hartley, that really cemented our trust in you and each other to keep us all safe. Oh, yes. So good to hear. So good to hear. But Hartley, we were talking about the beach ritual that we did and how incredible that one was. It was
Jess is here.
Jess! Oh my gosh, I spoke to Jess yesterday.
Not Jess.
It's Jessie. Yes, but I'm Jessie. Sorry, Jessie. But it's crazy how we're talking about the retreat and the rituals, and then all of our coven witches are coming into the live.
Yes, I was thinking when you were talking about Salem just a little bit ago, I was thinking how Nikki lives so close there, and she doesn't even go there that often because she says she gets such a bad headache when she goes there. And I feel like I've come across more witches that live on the outskirts of Salem, and they don't go there that often because of that dense energy. So we're hoping to change that.
Yeah, and with residual and dense energy, what needs to happen is to break it up. It's very dense electromagnetic energy, stagnant, static energy. So, and to be able to do that is the frequency through love, joy, authenticity. And that's what we're bringing to Salem to help kind of break up that really residual stagnant energy that is underlying in Salem. And it's felt, you know, if you've been to Salem, you feel it there.
But I love that we start talking about it and then they start showing up. Or maybe they were here and we just didn't know it, but
Maybe. It's like a little reunion, coven reunion on here. I live in a ghetto city. Where do you live? Oh my gosh, remember when we were like doing our little travel harmony and like it was after we went to what was that, the place called, the apothecary place where we had like the massages and stuff after the retreat.
Mossy
And then we went
Apothecary.
Mossy Apothecary, and then we went to that town and it was like one of the most dangerous.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
How was that? So it was like we could either go to a nicer place but all the dinner places were shut, or we could have gone to this place and we'd be able to get dinner. So we're like, okay, we'll just go to this place because it's also on the way to Boston. And it turned out to be like one of the most dangerous places in the state.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
You know what I just thought of? You know how we had that horrible experience leaving the Mossy Apothecary and we seen the 2 raccoons get hit? It dawned on me the other day, I wonder if that was something past life connection to us and how we died in the past life. Because remember how we were talking about the possibility that you died for me? And it hit me the other day, like, the first raccoon died, then the second one died later. And I was like, it just like hit me. I think that's the way that it happened in the last life that we lived together. And there was something there energetically that was happening. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting chills right now.
Yeah, like because you had that reading with Kelly and it was very much like, I'm so protective of you because I died for you in a past life,
Yeah.
which resonates so deeply with me because I do have this just, I don't know how to explain it, but just like this sheer protection for you. And, you know, even when the thing happened with the raccoon, so if you guys don't know, when we were leaving and we were sort of road tripping, Harmony's husband was driving and I was in the back seat with, was it with Chris or was it with you? You were in the front seat and me and Chris were in the back seat. And I just see like an animal on the road. I'm very like kind of hyper aware of that kind of thing. And I was like, I touched Jason's arm. I was like, oh my God, Jason, there was a raccoon on the road. And he was just like, what? And I'm like, I think there's 2 of them. And so like, because we drove past, I said, you have to turn back. It was still moving. So someone had hit the raccoon. And I was like, we have to get them off the road. And so we turned back and I jumped straight out of the car. And then the men were like, don't touch it, Stella, it could have some kind of disease. But all I wanted to do was just like get them off the road. One of them had already passed, but there was one that was moving. And so Chris is like, let me get something out of the boot that you can just wrap it up and take it off. But he was taking too long. And then Harmony came out of the car and we kind of looked at each other. We were very upset, very emotional. And all I wanted to do was just get the raccoon off the road. But then I saw a car coming and I looked at Harmony and I did not want her to see what was about to happen. And so like I grabbed Harmony, I covered her eyes and we just heard what happened. The car that drove past just ran straight over it and killed it instantly. And so Chris and I then got one of my ritual mats actually and picked it off the road and we put it into the bushes. Harmony and I were like inconsolable at this point, and we did like a little blessing on this raccoon and just took it off the road. But it was just like, yeah. But it's very interesting, like you say that, because it's like my first instinct was to look at you and protect you from seeing that. I mean, we heard it, but yeah.
I think I definitely dissociated a bit in that moment because I can still like, it's almost like I'm watching us, like I hear us screaming and hearing the sound and But after the most beautiful day too, like we had such a relaxing, lovely day, and then to have it end that way was tragic.
Yeah, we experienced, I think, every single emotion that you could experience on that trip. Like,
And then we ended up in the ghetto.
and then
That's
we're
where the
watching
conversation
Dexter.
started.
Then we started like, we'll come to your hotel room and watch Dexter, because like at that point there was new episodes of Dexter coming out. So we went to Harmony Jason's hotel room and watched Dexter in the ghetto.
Yeah, we watched Dexter to console ourselves.
Yeah, that was a lot actually. That was a lot. But then we went to Boston, and the next day we fed the squirrels in the park and the ducks.
That was so fun.
Yeah,
Don't we need a modern day Dexter right now in our world?
Please.
I shouldn't say that, but it's funny how those characters make you start rooting for someone that's doing something horrible, but it's kind of not horrible when he's doing it to people like that.
I'm like, vigilante away, please. I really like that show, 56 Days, actually.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I didn't tell you about that because I was so obsessed. What's her name with the girl, the main character? She's so gorgeous.
Oh, she did two names, Megan and Ciara.
Yeah,
But
Ciara.
her actress's name, Dove Cameron. She's gorgeous and he's stunning, like all of it. It was really good. And I'm so glad the way that it ended.
Yeah. You finished it then? Yeah.
I finished it. I couldn't not. I was just like, I don't think it would be either one of them. They need to have, after watching Wuthering Heights and seeing the tragic love story that happened there, I needed a good ending.
I need to watch that. I have not watched it yet.
Yeah, it's very cinematic. It's really just everything that they did was so beautiful. The story, not so much. I cried. So, even though it's the most toxic love story you could possibly ever imagine, still.
But we haven't told anybody about our sale on the Spellbound courses. We were going to mention that today. We already mentioned that we're thinking about, there's going to be another course coming out starting in June. So keep your eyes out for that. And we have a sale on the Spellbound courses for Baneful Magic and Manifesting Magic, which there's LINKINMYBIO. So I don't get flagged, but hopefully
Yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm thankful we hadn't had any restrictions on here because yesterday I got like 2. So
yeah. There's a code. If you're going to do Baneful Magic course, you get 50% off with the code Baneful, all caps. Manifesting Magic course, you get 50% off using the code Moonwitch, all caps.
and I think the beautiful thing about it is like the Baneful Magic course is like 8 hours, 9 hours of information, and we really deep dive into the energetic blueprint and the framework around Jesus Christ is God.
You were reading the same thing as I was reading this.
It wasn't the Son of God, but anyway, whatever. We really deep dive into the energetic blueprint and framework of Baneful Magic, and the energetics is so important when it comes to Baneful Magic, and also really just dismantling the stigma around Baneful Magic. And with manifestation magic, you know, we see manifestation in the spiritual community a lot, but there is a big difference between just manifesting and also bringing that into your witchcraft, because they are two different things. But it's how you're able to bring manifestation magic into your craft in a way that it's actually going to see results. Because, you know, if you're manifesting, but you have all this underlying generational imprinted trauma or lack of self-love, lack of self-worth, you are not going to see the results in the way that you are wanting to see them. So we do deep dive into the energetics of that as well. And so many spells, like from our personal books of shadows, we have uploaded them all onto this platform. So you get them firsthand, and how to cast, how to conduct the spell. We actually teach you. I think on the Baneful Magic one, there's multiple. We teach you the Hand of Glory. We teach you a plant ward. We teach you, what else do we do? I'm trying to remember now.
There's so much in there. I don't even.
We actually show you how to do them. And then with the manifestation one, there's 5 spells that we show you how to do.
And then we have like 30 PDFs of curses. I was looking at that the other day. I was like, damn, we gave them everything. Like,
I love that. I love that. And Baneful Magic gets such a bad rap because, you know, there's that whole light and love bullshit that you see in witchcraft. And that comes from spirituality, where you've got to be the good girl and not deep dive into the shadow self. But in reality, you can't have one without the other. And sometimes there are just times where there is an imbalance and you need to bring that balance back. So you got to take things into your own hands.
yeah, and you're not going to heal yourself overnight, but there is ways to clear your energy field so that you're directing the energy right in a way that you're not going to get mixed up results. And we share all of that. So, and we also teach hexing, not just cursing, you know, your energetic boundaries, your energetic no. The difference, when to do them. Protection is where we started with that one. Yeah. Whew, my cat is like, you're done. Trying to knock my camera over.
Your mods are so good. They're just like, bam, bam. I'm like, I read the comment and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to play with our food for a little bit. But I'm like, nah, they're gone, done. I can't even better at all. Which is really good.
Yeah, my mods are amazing. They're fierce. They don't let anything sit around.
What is that? Do you group of elite global? I don't even know what this means. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, it's gone. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Such good fun.
We've almost been on here 2 hours now. So do you guys have any more questions you want answered before we go?
We're going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes.
When is the right time to cleanse oneself? The full moon is a great time, or the dark moon.
And also whenever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
Like, if there is a time between, you know, the new moon or the full moon or the whatever dark moon, like, if you feel that you need to have some energetic hygiene and you have residual stagnant energy that you just need to cleanse and clear away, stop creating rules for you that don't need to exist and waiting. Do it immediately. But again, there's an amplification when it is the full moon, so that is a really amazing time to do it. But also, do whatever the fuck you want.
I love you. And also, whenever the fuck you want.
Because there are some days where I'm like, okay, where's the moon sitting? What are the astrological transits? Why do I feel this way? All right, I think because sometimes it has nothing to do with the astrology or collective energy, and it's yourself.
Yeah.
So sometimes you clean yourself, or you've had an interaction with someone at the shops or someone at work, and you really just need to like shake it off. Do it. Do it, please. Good morning.
There's the kitty. I don't know if you hear him. He's like circling me, going meow, meow, meow. He's like, this has been too long. I know. Do you want to be on the live?
Kitty.
Gonna sit? Sit. You're gonna be on the live.
Amber said she can't find the courses on your site. It should be under Spellbound.
Look under Witch School, and And when you click on Witch School, then it'll drop down and you'll click on Spellbound.
How do you clean yourself? Well, for me, I have a shower. Kidding. Anyway, are you meaning cleanse yourself? But yeah, the shower is a really powerful tool actually to cleanse and cleanse yourself. But I'm getting a little bit, yeah, now a little bit spicy.
I have a daily practice myself of taking incense. All the women on my coven know this, and even some people that come on my lives, I'll hold the incense burning at my heart, and then I'll just inhale and lift the incense up, and then exhale and sweep my arms down. And I do that 3 times, and then swap hands, so the entire auric field is getting cleansed. That's kind of a daily. I'm always burning incense in my house, so that's my way. But you're right, anytime we're in the shower, that water, if you just take that intentional moment to let go, I mean, we all shower every day.
Yeah, twice a day, sometimes 3 for me. But I also have like my bird wings, and I will use it, and I'm just like brushing it all over me. You got to make sure you do your back and your feet as well. That's being very intentional with it. Or music, you know, for me, people see a lot of my dancing videos as just having fun, but it's a ritual for me. So I'm either invoking, conjuring, calling in, or I'm releasing, cleansing, and clearing with music. So frequency, like use a bell too, like a bell or sound
bell is great. Yeah. I think also just going outside in the morning, that has become a ritual of mine, to go out without sunglasses on in the morning. Usually I'm like picking up dog poop or something wonderful like that, but it gets me outside early in the morning, which helps reset your internal clock, and you can take your shoes off and ground. I think those, even though it's not like I'm cleansing myself, anytime you're grounding, you're resetting and anchoring your energetic field. So
I think it's very, very important. And I think a lot of people don't understand or realize the importance of grounding. I mean, it has been scientifically tested that, you know, the Earth's electromagnetic energy is like our charger. And a lot of the time people are walking on cement, they're walking with rubber sole shoes, that they have this disconnection without even realizing it. So when you do go outside, it's like you go out bare feet and you connect the soles of your feet, which have the biggest paws on your body, on the ground for at least 20 minutes to half an hour a day. And that is, you know, if you're feeling drained or feeling tired, that can be your charger. So like when you see that term, go hug a tree, absolutely, go do that, but also have bare feet. And also the elements outside, like when I'm feeling really stressed and anxious, and I'm releasing that out into the air, like there's always a gust of wind that just takes it away. So the elements are really good cleansing tools as well.
Yes.
Alrighty. Any last minute questions? Otherwise, we are going to call it a day. Yes, Marjorie. Oh my gosh, perfect.
Leo night. I think maybe there's a typo there. All right. Looks like we are going to say merry part. Farewell. Merry meet and merry part. Thank you guys all for coming on, all our coven sisters and retreat sisters.
It's so good to be on here with you and to be chatting to everyone. We are thinking about doing this weekly, so yeah, keep an eye out.
Monday, in the US, Monday nights; in Australia, Tuesday mornings, right?
Yeah. So make sure you come in and tune in, and if there's anything that you guys are wanting to chat about, you let us know and we can chat about them.
All right, Stella, it was so good to be on here with you together to reminisce.
I know. And also, guys, don't forget that, it is very, very rare that Harmony has any spots to her retreats at all. So there are a few spots left not many, but a few left for her Practical Magic one. That's the end of October. I wish I could be going. I really do. I'm like, do I need to come back to the States to come?
I know. I was thinking about that when you were talking about it earlier. I was like, oh, I wish I could get you out here again.
No, I wish I could, but they are so beautiful. And I know that there are a lot of women who go to them every single year because they're so incredible and so powerful. So if you have been thinking about it, I think that more than ever, we need that connection. We need women coming together and honing in on our power and that collective energy for healing. So please check out the retreat because she does have payment plans as well. And honestly, it's life-changing. So life-changing. Good night.
Keep envisioning, oh, thank you, the highest level timeline outcome for everything that's happening right now. Don't quit talking about the survivors. See through the veils of illusion.
I got kookaburras going off. Kookaburras. That's like joy and laughter. And I know that the world is really heavy right now, but you also are able to have joy and love in your life. So create something every day, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, that uplift your vibrational energy through something that brings you joy and love, because it is very, very heavy right now collectively. And do not stop talking about the survivors of the fires, because a huge dismantling is happening. Huge, huge, huge. And the other reminder is never dim your magic or hide your light to make others feel fucking comfortable. Now is the time to fucking shine that to the world, because the more you do that, the more others will feel inspired and the more you come home to yourself. We're not hiding anymore. We are not hiding anymore. So
no rules. No rules. You be you.
Exactly. And that's so magical. We love you.
Love you. Good night. Farewell. We'll see you next Monday. Bless peace, sisters.